Welcome back to online classes. Last class we have discussed the language translator, that is your compiler, interpreter and assembler, and we have seen in the functionalities of the operating system. Today's class will discuss what is the different types of operating systems. Based on the service requirements and the time constraints, the operating system is being classified into 10 types. First one is your single user operating system. Second one, batch operating system. Third one, multi-programming operating system. OS stands for operating system. In multi-programming you have multitasking operating system. Next you have multi-user operating system. Next you have real-time sharing. Next time sharing system. Real-time operating system, time sharing system. Under multi-programming you have multitasking, multi-user, real-time, time sharing. Next you have distributed operating system. Next one, network operating system. Networking operating system. Next, last one you have the multi-thread operating system. Your operating system, we have discussed what is operating system. Operating system is classified under a system software. It acts as an interface between the user and the computer resources. I have already discussed in the last classes itself. And we have seen the components, that is nothing but functionality of your operating system. That is our process management, memory management, file management, device management, protection, security and user interfaces. Next we have types of operating system. It is based on the time constraints and the service requirements. It is being broadly classified into 10 types. First type is the single user operating system. Second one is batch operating system. Third one is multi-programming operating system. In multi-programming, it is being classified into multitasking operating system, multi-user operating system. The next one is real-time operating system, time-sharing operating system. It is being classified under multi-programming operating system. Next, you have fourth operating system is nothing but distributed operating system. Next one is your networking operating system. The last one is nothing but multi-thread operating system. First, one by one we'll go. First, we'll discuss about single user operating system. Students, the first type of operating system is nothing but single user operating system. What is the single user? By name itself, the operating system that is which allows operating system which allows only to one, which is used for only by the single user, used by single user. Once again, tell it. See, operating system which going to act as an interface only for a single user operating system, that we called as the single user operating system. What it means? The resources is shared. The CPU is being shared. The resources of system. It can be input, output, memory or processor or any information files. The resources of the system is shared by single user. It is shared by the single user. Such an operating system we called as the single user operating system. Operating system which acts as an interface only by a single user. That is, operating system is used by a single user. That we called as a single user operating system. In the sense means the resources of the system is shared by the only one of the user, including all the resources, even in processor, memory, input, output devices, and any information files that exist in your system that is operated by a single user. Such an operating system we call it as the single user operating system. It is mainly used in your desktop, personal desktop computer, or laptops. So it is by the user used by your personal desktop computers and laptops. And here the example are of this operating system is Windows 95, 98, Apple Mac Macintosh are the example of your single user operating system. See here, once again I am explaining the operating system which acts as an interface only for the one user. Such an operating system is called as the single user operating system. That is, only one user make use of the resources. The resources can be input, output, memory or processor, and even as some of the information files what is being stored in a system, that is used by the only one user. Such an operating system is called as the single user operating system. Next, which plays its role you can make use of the single user operating system is like a personal desktop or what's the desktop computers and laptops. The example of a single user operating system is Windows 95, 98, Apple Macintosh, etc. So this is about your single user operating system. Second one is batch operating system. Let's see what is batch operating system. Second type of operating system is nothing but batch operating system. In this batch operating system, what it means, it does not involve the user interaction. That is, users of the batch operating system does not interact with the programs directly during execution. What it says is, in batch operating system, users of batch operating system does not have interaction with the system during execution of a program. What is this batch operating system is? Here, whatever the users of a batch operating system, that user does not have a direct interaction or direct involvement. There is no interaction during the program execution. Such type of operating system is nothing but batch operating system. Here, how we are going to that is how we are going to feed the data and programs in the form of batch or in the form of job. That is nothing but using a job control language. See what I am telling here is JCL. So you are going to submit. You are going to submit your programs and data before executing the action processing time taking place. You are going to submit your programs and data in the form of batch or in the form of job, that is submitted to the operating system, where there is no involvement of the users. There is no direct involvement with the user. One best example is the users of the batch operating system can he can prepare his offline all its data and programs in the form of offline. Like offline means punch cards. Suppose for example I want to take my attendance details or any job details. I make use of the punch cards that is taken in a offline mode. Then I'm submitting to the computer operators. So here the users of the operating system does not directly involve with your computer during the program execution. That is nothing but your batch operating system. Your programs and data is fed into the form of job. That is, before actual processing takes place, he is going to submit all its programs and its data or all its commands, that is in the form of job, that is job control language. You are going to submit. So without the user interaction, the operating system going to perform the operation. Here it is best example for this is like a forecasting, statistical analysis, next what is the bank statement, payroll, etc. So our application is well suited with a large computational time and no user interaction. Such an application is well suited for this kind of batch operating system. Some of the example of batch operating systems are like forecasting. You are predicting the future based on the present and past data values. So forecasting, statistical analysis, bank statement, payroll, and large complex crunching programs of your complex mathematical. For that you are making use of your batch operating system. In batch operating system, it comes in the order of first in, first out. That is before. First, the instruction is executed in the order of first in, first out. And first out. This comes in the form of first in, first out. So it is in the order of before. First in, first out, where here also no user interaction is allowed. And disadvantages is non-interactive mode of that is non-interactive mode of application. That is, it does not have a direct interaction with the user. Everything is done in the offline debugging. That is the main disadvantages. That is nothing but non-interactive mode. Disadvantages is non-interactive mode of application and everything offline debugging. So here what it tells means batch operating system where it does not have a direct involvement with the user. So he feeds its data and program everything in the form of commands or jobs. That is using a job control language. So here during this execution the user does not aware, that is does not have any involvement. So what are the applications suited for batch operating system? Like large computational time, like forecasting, statistical analysis, bank statement, payroll, etc. And here it is served in the order of first in, first out. It is served how the execution takes place. Who comes in the first in, first out. And what is the disadvantage of batch operating system is it is a non-interactive mode of application and always supports a offline debugging. Example of this is IBM 360 system. The example of this batch operating system is IBM 360 system. So this is about your batch operating system. Third one is multi-programming operating system. Your third operating system is a multi-programming operating system. This is a kind of operating system which that is the operating system going to perform more than one, that is more than one processing execution of a program concurrently. What it tells means multi-programming operating system is nothing but here the operating systems allows the more than one process to be executed concurrently. That is nothing but multi-programming operating system. That is multi-programming is nothing but where you are going to process more than one process. Simultaneously or concurrently executed. That is, operating systems allows to for the users more than one process, more than it can be 2 or 3, going to simultaneously execute sharing the resources. They are going to share the resources. Suppose for example there are 2 processes. Okay. Suppose one process, that is one process waiting for input output devices means the second process can make use of the CPU. It can make use of utilizing the CPU. What it tells means, so if there are more than 2 or let it be 2, 3, 4, any process are to be shared concurrently can be executed concurrently or simultaneously can be executed by sharing the resources. How they means the CPU going to give each that is a term allotted slot time for each partial. See, it takes 2 or more programs loaded into my primary memory, and in each term time slot he is going to share the or he going to execute a part of the program. When a term time is being finished, it goes to the next turn of the process and execute part of its execution. So here more than process can be concurrently executed and share the resources. For example, if there are 2 processes, one process is waiting for input output device to be used, then the CPU's utilization is free. The other process can make use of the CPU utilization. Afterwards, after CPU is being utilized, it releases the input output. That input output can be used by the first process. So this is nothing but multi-programming operating system. So here more than 2 processes can be executed concurrently. So this is scheduled by an operating system, that is nothing but multi-programming operating system. Here more than 2 processes can share the same resources as its time slot is being allocated. So this is about your multi-programming operating system. Next we will see multitasking operating system. See, the fourth one is multitasking operating system. So under multi-programming you have multitasking operating system. This is nothing but again same to a multi-program operating system. More than 2 processes or more than 2 processes concurrently can be executed, simultaneously executed. But here it is for a single user is active. It acts as an interface for single user. Single user going to perform multi-purpose. That is, it acts as an operating system, acts for a single user and performing the multiple tasks. That is multi-programs. A single user simultaneously executing more than one instruction or more than one process multitasking operating system. Here it is also multitasking operating system is also called as context switching. See, here in a multi-programming you can execute more than two programs or processes at a time concurrently, but there is no interface. Any number of users can be active into that multi-programming operating system. Where in multitasking operating system, it also executes more than two processes, but it acts as an interface for only for a single user is being behind it and executing more tasks, multitasking. So since it performs multitasking, it is also called as context switching. So example of this is this Windows 95, 98, 2000 and your Unix. So these are the examples of your multitasking operating system where the resource is shared by a single user, and sharing the resources is simultaneously that user going to perform the more than the one task simultaneously occurring. So here it acts for the resources shared by the single user, but it does not execute one program at a time. It is going to perform concurrently execute more than two processes at a time. Such a thing we call as multitasking operating system. Next one we see multi-user operating system. So fifth type of operating system is multi-user operating system. This also comes under multi-programming operating system. Here multiple users, by name itself, many users share the same resources. So many users going to share the same resources of the operating system. That is nothing but multi-user operating system. So many users going to share the same resources. Suppose there are 5 users. 5 users are connected to their terminals. So with this terminal, we are going to access the resources. See, one CPU or one operating system or the resources is shared by the many number of users, multi-users. So multi-users is being connected to an operating system. That is, many users going to share the same operating system by giving its time slots. By giving its time slots, you are going to share the resources. Each user is connected to a terminal, and the resources what it shared, it is allocated to each of the terminal. So that is nothing but multi-user operating system. Once again I say, multi-user come under the multi-programming operating system. Multi means many users going to share the same resources of your CPU or processor or input, output or memory slots. So each user is being connected to its own terminal or own node of computers. So in its node, he can access this particular resources, and access can be shared from the resources to its own terminal. So this is nothing but your multi-user operating system. Next we will see real-time operating system. So your sixth operating system is a time-sharing operating system. What is this time-sharing operating system? The operating system resources is shared with multiple users. So within the given time slots, we call it as the time-sharing operating system. What it is? The operating system resources is shared by multiple users within the given time slots. So you are going to share the time, the processor time, you can say the processor time or the operating system resource time or processor time is being shared by the multiple users within the given time slot. Suppose there are many users, user 1, user 2, user 3. So user 1, so the processor time is given for these 3 users within. So some nanoseconds or some milliseconds or some kind of instruction is given to user 1, user 2, user 3. So this user 1 within the time slots, he is going to whatever resources allocated to this operating system can make use. When the time slots is being turned off, the user 2 can make use of that time slots of your processor time. So similarly for user 3. So time sharing means the processor time. That is, the processor time is given to each user, and each user can make utilize of that particular resources. That is nothing but time sharing operating system. What is this time sharing means? It is like the time sharing means given time slots is nothing but a time sharing operating system. So this is, it's nothing but an example of this is Unix and its flavors. All the Unix, that is your programming language, that is operating systems come under all the Unix, Linux, everything, turbo, assembler, everything come under this particular operating system, that is nothing but time sharing operating system. Next one, your seventh one is your real-time operating system. Your seventh operating system is real-time operating system. What is this real-time operating system tells me? It is defined as a data processing system in which time interval to process and response to input is so small. That is, so suppose this is my operating system, real-time operating system. I want to real-time, that is immediate, that is for each process to be executed will be allotted a deadline. Within that deadline, the input is given and the response should be come back. That is a small interval of time. Within the deadlines, the response should be taken place. The real time, within a fraction of time, the operating system should perform a real-time system application, like your monitoring your patients, flight controls, and what other examples like real-time. Weather forecasting, everything should be taken within the fraction of seconds. A deadline will be provided. So, what it tells us, it's a data processing system in which time interval, the given time to process and the response to the input is so small. Within the deadline, we should get all the controls. So, like flight control, airspace, and monitoring satellite within the fraction of it. Like these are the real-time application where we are making use of your real-time operating system. So each one is within the deadline. You should get for the input, they should get the response within the deadline. So that is nothing but your real-time operating system. Once again, I am telling real-time operating system is nothing but processing system or data processing system in which for that will be a time interval. So the input and the response time should be within that. It is between the transaction between the input and getting the response will be a small amount of time. They do not give us for a buffer. So the buffering time will be less. That is this small amount of time. Within that fraction of the deadline, you should get the response. So that is nothing but done with an operating system like real time. That is immediate, whatever action taking place, you should keep on monitoring or keep on track of that particular thing. Such a thing we call as the real time operating system. Your best example is a satellite control system, your flight control system, and monitoring your patients. So all this come under your real-time operating system. So each fraction second what is going to happen. So what all should be given. The buffering storage or buffering time is very less here. The delays, you should not take more. The buffering time is less. So within that fraction of seconds, the processing and response should be taken place. Such an operating system we call as the real-time operating system. So next one we are going to see, your eighth one is distributed operating system. So your eighth one is your distributed operating system. What is by name itself? So the end users is being connected in your operating system. Each user is being connected through hardware and softwares. They have an end. Suppose there are end users. So end users has been connected. Okay, there are end users in a distributed. So end users is being connected to your hardware devices and a protocol is used. What kind of protocol that you are going to study in your network operating system? So using this in hardware and software, you are going to connect your number of users or the autonomous computers being connected. So here in a distributed operating system, it's going to share the resources. It's going to share the resources. Okay, here you're going to share the resources among the end users of your operating system or end process of your operating systems. So here, whatever resources available, that a particular user or particular process can make use of that particular resources. What it tells is, see, in a distributed operating system, you are distributing the resources of your operating system in the form of memory or in the form of input, output or any kind of information files. It is distributed among the n number of systems or n number of processes that are going to share the resources. So here also the time interval is there for each user or each process or each system has its time interval and you are going to share the resources. Here you cannot see it is as one resources, it can be n number of resources, n system is connected to your terminals. So So here in a distributed resources, you are going to share the resources that is provided by an operating system called distributed operating system. One best example is the ATM, that is automatic teller machine. So n number of users can be connected or n number of process can be transaction can be done in this particular distributed operating system. For each process or each task you are going to get the response. So that is the best example of your distributed operating system. Next one is your networking operating system. So your ninth one is your network operating system. What is this network operating system means? You are going to connect. What is a network? Network is a collection of autonomous computers being connected, that is independent computers being connected. Among that you are going to use some protocols, that is nothing but software, in order to transaction or in order to communication takes place between. So a network is nothing but, okay, it is nothing but independent computers, autonomous computer that is being connected through a connection. So each through using a view user protocol for networking, each network has a certain set of rules, that is nothing but protocol. A software is used. According to this particular rules, your data transaction or data communication takes place between this what is that network operating system. In network operating system, you are using a software that consists of set of rules. According to these rules, autonomous computers can be interconnected to each other. You are going to connect more. Autonomous is nothing but independent system is being connected through kind of network. You are going to study the different types of networks in coming future classes. Through that, you are going to connect your independent networks. According to that, each network has set of rules or protocols. According to this, data communication takes place. A user can log in one machine with its private protocol, that is with its private set of IDs, or he can access data from the another machine. So that kind of networking sharing can be done with help of network operating system. What it is? Users log in with its own private security, but he can access the details with the other from. He can be log into one system. He can have a feature to access the other system information. So this kind of accessing or managing the system resources is done by a network operating systems. So last one is nothing but multi-thread operating system. So your last operating system in your types of operating system is multi-thread operating system. What is thread means? A sequence of instruction. What is thread means? A sequence of instruction we call it as thread. So in a process you can have many number of threads that consist of number of sequence of instruction. So this multi-thread means many threads going to share the same code, same resources. So these operating system, when using a multi-threaded Unix operating system, when you come across such kind of operating system, we call it as multi-thread. Thread is nothing but a sequence of instruction is called as thread. In a process you have many threads, multiple threads. So each thread is nothing but consists of sequence of instruction. So this multi-thread operating system shares the same code of operation, programs as well as the resources. Such an operating system we call it as the multi-thread operating system. For time being, understand what is thread. Thread is nothing but sequence of instruction is called as multi-thread. When you go for, I have already told you, deadlock handling in your types of operating system, that is the functionality of operating system. I told process management, you have deadlock handling. So such kind of operating system also make use of this multi-thread operating system. In a multi-thread, it's nothing but thread is nothing but many number of instruction or sequence of operation or instruction is being executed. So this multi-thread going to share the same code, data as well as the system resources. Such an operating system we call it as the multi-thread operating system. So this ends your types of operating system. Next we'll see the features of your operating system. Some functionality features of your operating system. The last topic in this particular software concepts is functional features of commonly used operating systems. There are two interfaces, that is your user going to interact. With the help of two interfaces. What are the commonly used interfaces in your operating systems are? First one is CUI. CUI stands for Command Line User Interface. Next one it is GUI. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface Operating System. So this Command Line User Interface Operating System is also called as the Character User Interface. Why its name I will explain. See, your command line line user interface. Second one is, next one is a graphical user interface. This CUI also is called as the character user interface. In your command line user interface, the user must type the commands at command prompt. In MS-DOS, you have like the following. So here in your MS-DOS, there is nothing but Microsoft Disk operating system. You have to, in order to select, you want to interact with your operating system or interact with the system, the user has to type the commands. Yeah, that is, the user has to type the commands at the command prompt. This is the command prompt when you are using an MS-DOS, that is Disk operating system. So the user must remember the commands and all the parameters. What is the parameters? That is the condition used under that particular commands. So the user must must type the command as well as must remember the commands in that particular in your CUI, that is command line user interface. And there is no need of your mouse interaction, that is mouse operation is not required when you are using your DOS, Disk operating system. That is your everything in the form of keyboards. The inputting in the through a device called as the keyboards. Everything you have to type the command, remember that command, and as well as the parameters in your command line user interface. So when you go for the second interface of your operating system, is nothing but your graphical user interface. Here the user must just click on the icons, menus or dialog box, etc. No to interact with the computer. No need to remember any commands. Everything will be available in the form of icons or graphical icons will be available in the form of menus or a box, a dialog box will be present. Through that you are going to click the command and interact with the system. So in a graphical user interface, no need of remembering the commands. And here mouse operation is required to select the commands or icons. Here mouse interaction is not required, here mouse interaction is must. Here you are going to input through a commands, through a keyboards. And you have to remember the command, there is no need to remember the commands. So everything in the form of character, see in your command line user interface, you are going to write the commands in the form of characters, in the form of letters. So such things we call as the character user interface. So when a prompt is linked, MS-DOS prompt is linked, you are going to type the command. So that is the difference between a command user interface and graphical user interface. So in a graphical, now we are using the graphical user interface. Everything when you are on the system, in a desktop you have all the icons or toolbars, everything will be present. Directly you are going to use the point the mouse to particular places position, you are going to select the icons. So this is the difference between the two types of user interface. One it is command line user interface, second one is graphical user interface. So everything here in the command line you are going to type each and every command should be remembered and typed in a command prompt. When a graphical user, no need of remembering the commands, no need of typing the command, just directly you are going to select the icons, menus or dialog boxes. Okay, here what is it? No interaction of the mouse operation, but here there is interaction of the mouse in order to select the commands. So this is about your fourth chapter, software concepts. So I will just brief out whatever I have done. First we have seen what is software, hardware, then types of software, application software, system software. And in the system software we have studied three types of things. One is operating system, language translator, utilities. Next we have seen what is language translator, what is the communication language, first computer language. Then that we have three types of translator, assembler, compiler, interpreter. Then we have undergone the functionalities of the operating system, different components of an operating system. 6 different types we have studied: process management, memory management, device management, what is protection and security, user interfaces, and even we have gone through the different types of operating system based on the time constraints and their service requirement. What kind of service they are going to provide to the user. So different 10 types of operating system we have discussed: single user operating system, batch operating system, multi-programming operating system, multi-user operating system, multitasking operating system, real-time operating system, time sharing operating system, distributed operating system, networking operating system, multi-threaded operating system. Last topic we have discussed, that is the user interface operating system, how we can interact with the user. Means 2 types of interface, CUI and GUI. So today's session I can wind up this particular chapter. So I'll give some of the assignment questions. Just try to solve that assignment questions. Students, the assignment question for the fourth chapter software concepts is, I have mentioned 5 assignment questions. First one, I'll just read it one by one. What is hardware? Next, second question, what is software? You have to just say what is hardware and software. Third one, differentiate between application software and system software. You have to write the differentiation between application software and system software. Your fourth question, mention the types of operating system. Just mention how many number of types of operating system. Just mention the types. Write the names of the operating system. Your fifth question, write a note on language translator. You have to write a brief note on a language translator. So there are how many number of language translators are there? That should be mentioned in that particular fifth question. So these are the 5 assignment questions under the chapter of fourth chapter, that is software concepts. So if you have any doubt, you arise any doubt in this particular chapter, this is a theoretical chapter. If you find any difficult in this particular chapter, put it in an assignment questions and bring it out. So I'll wind up this chapter, and thank you one and all.